Okay, so parts you're going to need to do this mod. You're going to need a set of 120 millimeter, that's the diameter here, 120 millimeter LED cotton light angel eyes. I got these off of Amazon. They come from QASIM. I'll put a link in the description down below. But what's really fascinating about these lights is that they have a driver on them right here. And so basically, you're going to hook them up to ground. Ignition on. Your red one goes to your 12 or 24 volt ignition on. And your yellow one goes to your blinker feed. And so you'll see how all that works out once it's put together, but this little guide does it for you. I am looking at this thing and thinking that it may suffer water intrusion, so we'll put some silicone on that, seal it up. Here's the other thing you're going to need. You are going to need a pack of these clips, and I'll see if I can find a link to these on Amazon as well, but these are just white plastic. They're XLX. There were 200 to the package. As far as size goes, they're about a half-inch clamp. They're considered white, but they're a bit translucent. And what you're going to do is you're going to take 3 of them, push them around your light bezel, and then you're going to take the screws off of your Humvee blinker housing. I'll show you that in a minute, but you want to work them through. First little bit of this is a little bit stiff. I mean, they fit right on. Just going to work them in, get them past the threaded part, and then they just drop right in. And then they're going to drop right on your truck. So, I'll just show you putting this one in. Easy peasy. I probably could put a little rat tail file in here or run a little drill motor through it, but really don't have to, because once you get past the threaded part, the bolt has a shank on it where it shoulders down, and that allows you playroom once you put it on. So we'll head on over to the truck and we'll slip these in place. You're not going to believe how easy. You're going to take your ring, take the screws that you previously removed, blinker, run them in. Well, that's how easy that is. So by the magic of me working on this before the video, that one's already in place. You're also going to need to put a fuse in there, because if you run them the way I'm going to, they're going to have direct power when you cycle the key on. That's going to illuminate the white light, and then of course when you go to the blinker, it's going to turn to the amber light. What I'm using here is just a waterproof style, water resistant style fuse holder. And we'll take you over to the truck and I'll show you how I'm going to put this in. This truck has the 12 and 24 volt alternator assembly, generator alternator. That gives me, on this lug right here, 24 volt that goes from the battery actually down to the starter over to the battery right here. Right here, however, on the back of here is a 12 volt, and then right here is a 24 volt ignition on. This only lights up when the key is activated. So this is going to make it pretty easy. My little rig that I've put together here is going to have, it's going to be hooked to this ignition lead, and I'm going to ground it right here to that case, and then take it forward. But actually, you know what, now that I've been looking at it, I don't even need a ground on this unless I just want to. Okay, so we have our fuse, weather pack, power, ignition, 12 volt on, and ground. Easy peasy. Here's our plug. We want to be able to unplug this stuff so the hood can come off. Show you over here. There's an inspection cover that hides the wiring for the lights. It's a little different left hand to right hand. This is a area of the truck that just takes a beating from whatever is being kicked up off the road. We'll get this opened up. Inside here, we'll be able to get our connector for the blinker. Just like so. All right. Now we're going to lift this plate off, and there is the wiring that goes to the side marker and to the blinker. So we're going to check all this out here in just a second. So your next challenge is you have to get this through to the other side. And I'm sure there are a lot of ways to do it. I don't want to break the seal on the lamp. This portion of the hood right here is not a watertight portion, and it allows me an area that I can snake a wire in. What we're going to do is drill in here with a bit just big enough to allow the connector to come through. And I'm going to bring that wiring up into this box. And there we go. We're through. So this next little bit here is a little bit of trial and error. If you have the build guide on it, and if you have perfect eyes, you can possibly read the numbers on these. They're very hard to read. These numbers will tell you which light is blinker, running light, etc. But you know what? By the time I go get that and I look through it, I can do something else pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the right blinker on right now. It's blinking. So what I'm going to do now is eliminate this guy, because I know that guy goes to the parking light. But it leaves me these here for the blinker. We'll pull them. Let's take a look. It's still blinking. So we know that this is neither the ground nor is this the blinker wire. I'm going to go ahead and put him back. All right. And it's always a good idea to run a blade around that edge. And then you can separate it. Let's take a look. And that's the blinker. And for the record, it says wire 460 and 461 on the connection. All right, I'm going to do something right now that I guarantee is going to make a bunch of people cringe. But instead of adding an additional connector or something else in here, these are still pretty pliable. And what my thought process is I'm going to take my blinker wire, drop it down into that housing, and I'm going to press it all together. Allow that rubber boot to walk up on there. So on this particular job, the second most cringeworthy thing, the third maybe, I don't like drilling a hole in my truck if I really don't have to, but we did. This looks really cheesy, but it prevented the need to put any additional connections. Unfortunately, the grounding on this is directly lugged right onto the housing, and those housings are not playing nice. So what we're doing is closing this ground up using solder and heat shrink. Our heat shrink is a marine grade heat shrink that actually has a glue agent that goes around, and we will bring that in after we get this together. We'll slide it down out of the way. I'm going to take the ground side of this, strip it back, give ourselves a nice liberal amount of ground wire to be exposed. There it goes. And we're going to tie all this in together. All right. Going to give it a good old solder. So all soldered up, and I'm going to touch this with some heat. And this marine grade stuff, it squeaks out a little glue as it shrinks. So there you go. Tested the circuit, it's working, so we are all good there. At this point, the module is going to just tuck up in here, okay? But I'm going to have to grab that 12 volt power wire to get it in business. All right, bring in here a little bit. So I have run a bead of seal around the module, around the harness where it connects, and I also went ahead and ran beads around the connectors. Now we're going to stuff all that back in here, clean all this up. All right, quick review. We have power wire coming off our ignition on, right here off the alternator generator, 24 volt key on. We have a quick connect connector right here, and the ground is not going to anything right now, but it is hooked up if I ever want to. We have a quick connect, that way I can pull the wires loose and lift the hood off without cutting anything. Around front, we've got the harness going right there into the box. It's going across. We'll take a look over here. And same thing over here. Going across and tied into the box. This is key on. And that's just the way you're going to run around town. And then blinker. Blinker. And headlights on. I'll leave you with a few shots of what it looks like, and also thank you for watching. The total cost of this modification was under $40. I think it was worth it. You can let me know in the comments. Thank you. Thank you for watching.